This emerging fintech company is disrupting the industry with its unique approach to banking and financial services. But with the recent market turbulence, many investors are wondering, is SoFi just another bank or something truly different? We're going to take a closer look at what sets SoFi apart and the bigger story emerging. Let's dive in. Chris, we talk about a lot of stocks on this channel, so why did you choose to talk about SoFi? Does it have anything to do with the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank?
It does have a little bit to do with the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, but SoFi's been a stock that's been that I've been watching for a while, certainly since it debuted on the market in 2020. I like the CEO a lot. I like kind of the mission of the company. It's a fintech company, financial technology. This is an emerging sector, and I think it's going to play a significant role in our society, as there is a lot of distrust in banks, especially among the target audience of this company. But in light of the current banking crisis, I did want to take a look at SoFi and see how much, if any, exposure the bank had to Silicon Valley Bank. So to do this, I looked in the company's SEC filings, and this is something that our subscribers can do on MarketBeat.com. They can look at the tab that says SEC filings. These are somewhat, how shall I say, boring documents. They're kind of arcane, but the thing that investors should realize is that these are really important, because a company like SoFi that's publicly traded has to submit these on a regular basis to the SEC in order to continue to publicly trade. So they usually provide some information that investors should pay attention to. In this case, their 8K filing on March 10th disclosed that none of the bank's cash or other financial assets were held by Silicon Valley Bank, which was a big positive. The company's also released some other publicly available documents. There was a blog post that they did, not coincidentally, on like the day that Silicon Valley Bank was collapsing, that said the bank has like $18 billion of available capacity, so there's a lot of liquidity there. And then as recently as March 17th, they did another SEC filing. It was a 10K, in which they stated that only 10% of the bank's deposits were uninsured. So that means 90% of the banks were covered by FDIC insurance. So again, a lot of good news coming out of that. If you're currently an investor in SoFi, you're thinking about investing in the bank.
So how is SoFi different from other banks?
Well, so SoFi started out, it wasn't a bank. SoFi was, you'd say it was an online lender. And one of its primary niches was student loans. It was trying to help upwardly mobile millennials and now Gen Zers kind of get into this financial ecosystem. They were helping them refinance student loans, refinance credit card debt, just try to get onto a better financial path. And it was only in the last year or so that they actually got their bank charter and they became a bank. Probably the wrong time for them to do it, quite honestly. But the plan is that the bank's going to be a one-stop shop for a lot of these, for a lot of their customers. They can go seamlessly from the same bank that they do their checking and savings account with is the same bank that they're refinancing their loans through, and ideally they'll be the same bank that they do car loans through or mortgages through. And it's a unique model, and you know the company's been kind of one of those companies that they've done what they said they were going to do, and they've kind of continued to hit their milestones along the way. It's an interesting company. I'm a sucker for a company that has a unique selling proposition, and I really believe SoFi has one, and that's why I think it's different from other banks and other fintech companies, for that matter.
Mm-hmm. All right, Chris, let's take a quick break here and look at one of our reports. Are you approaching retirement and wondering how to make the most of your hard-earned savings? Look no further than Beginner's Guide to Retirement Stocks. This report covers everything you need to know about investing in stocks to generate a steady, stable income throughout your retirement years. From different types of retirement stocks to the value of dividend growth stocks, this guide provides actionable strategies to help you build a portfolio that meets your unique retirement goals. Don't leave your financial future to chance. Download this report today. SoFi stock is down 13% in the last month. Is this a case of the bank being lumped in with all the other banks?
Yeah, I really do think that is. I mean, from a fundamental standpoint, there's nothing that suggests the stock should be down as much as it is. All the reasons I just highlighted. They don't have any exposure to Silicon Valley Bank. 90% of their assets are FDIC insured. Now, having said that, the company is not profitable yet. And as I've mentioned on these videos before, I'm not going to go pound the table for our investors to invest in companies that are not profitable when there are certainly many other candidates that they can invest in this market that are profitable. But at the same time, some of their lack of profitability can be explained by the fact that they're still building out their financial services division. So if they manage to be profitable by the end of the year, which is what they've been projecting, and again, this is a company that's tended to do what they're going to do, and if they can be trusted to do that, then the stock is going to probably look like a real nice bargain if it's trading at about $5 right now. But having said that, a lot can happen with this economy, and that's really the risk of investing in a company like SoFi at this time. Short interest remains very high on the stock, which is not unusual. It's down from where it was a year ago, but it's still over 10%. And that means that, again, there's a lot of people who are trying to get in here, trying to short the stock. That's something for investors to be concerned about. Another thing would be, so far, only about 34% of institutional investors own the stock. And that's another thing for the retail investor be concerned about, because right now that means the retail investor is doing most of the heavy lifting here. It would be nice to see institutional investors kind of come in a little bit larger numbers.
All right, Chris, all that being said, would you say SoFi stock is one to watch now and maybe buy later?
I really do. I wrote an article on MarketBeat that basically summarized it right now. If you're not buying SoFi right now, again, I understand it's not a profitable company. You may want to stay away from it. But I would certainly say you should have it on your watch list. And here's a nugget that I would throw out for investors in that regard. Small cap stocks, of which SoFi is one. It has a market cap of below $2 billion, I think, as we speak. These tend to be the companies that come back the fastest when the economy does recover. At some point, the Federal Reserve will either pause their interest rate hikes, and at that point, that's going to be a pretty good signal to the markets that they can start taking the steps that they need to start moving forward. Usually it's small cap stocks that start leading the way. And that's why you want to have a bunch of them on your watch list right now, so that when the market turns around, those are the stocks that you can jump in on, because they're probably going to start trying to move pretty quickly.
All right, so as we've seen, SoFi is a unique player in the financial industry. And while the stock may have taken a hit recently, Chris, you're telling me the fundamentals suggest that it's a strong company with a bright future. For those of you looking for a financial institution that's doing things differently, SoFi might just be worth a closer look. Right, Chris?
I do. Instead of playing the game of banking roulette that a lot of others are playing, this might be a different way of playing the game.
There we go. All right, we have more analysis for everyone on our channel, so don't miss out on that. I'll be linking some of our most recent ones for you in the description below, so you can continue your research. Thanks, Chris. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Lacey.